Have you been considering canceling your Adobe subscription, but you're wondering what happens with Lightroom Classic if you do? Can you even still open the app? Which tools work and which don't? I'm sure you have many other questions as well. So let's do a deep dive together and find out what happens after cancellation and the ramifications of doing so. I want to help you make an informed decision about your Adobe subscription and look at the options available to you moving forward. I'm Darlene with Digital Photo Mentor, and if you're ready, let's dive right in. Before we get started, I just want to give a huge shout out to Brian Kennison. Because I still have an active Adobe subscription, without his help, I would have been unable to show you what happens after cancellation. So thanks, Brian. This is going to help a lot of people. And now let's move on to the questions. I made a list of things that I think you might want to know. It's quite extensive, as you can see. We're going to go through everything on this list. You might find a few of them surprising. I know I did. And make sure you stick around all the way to the end because we'll talk about options moving forward. What do you do for photo editing once you've canceled Adobe? So without further ado, I'm going to head to Lightroom Classic and get you some answers to these questions. As you can see, we are in the library module. One of the biggest questions that I get is what happens after I cancel my Adobe subscription? Can I still even open Lightroom? As you can see, the answer here is yes. You can still open it and you can still see your images that you've added to the catalog. The next thing you might want to know is, can you still go to the Develop module? Well, let's take a look. Oops, this is what is not available once you cancel your subscription. You cannot even access the Develop module. So you can't go back and look at the history of any edits on an image, you can't change them, and you can't do any additional adjustments. It is just completely deactivated. Let's continue on and see what happens with the other modules. As you can see, when we move over to mapping, this one is also disabled. So if you had any GPS data and mapping on your images, that is also not available. Continuing on, when we move down to the book module, you can see that this one is active and available. That means that you can still design a book using Lightroom Classic and order it directly from Blurb. So nothing has changed in this module. It functions as per usual. Moving on to the Slideshow module, it also functions normally. You can still construct, play, and export a slideshow. Likewise with the Print module. So if you use those two, you can still continue to do so. And finally, the Web module. While you can still design a web page or a little gallery for yourself, you no longer can use the upload function. Watch what happens when we try it. That means that it cannot connect to the Adobe servers because you've canceled your subscription. You can, however, still export the gallery, but if you want to put it online, you would need to have your own hosting. So this one has limited functionality. Here we are back in the library module once again. Let's take a deeper dive into the functions here and see what still works. As you can see, we can select an image and let's try export. So choose this one and click the export button. Here's our dialog box. Our settings have been chosen and let's export it. And there's the exported image. So you can still export an image with the Lightroom adjustments. You can see that it is a full-size JPEG as we designated in the export settings. And the adjustments that were done in Lightroom apply to the new JPEG. Next, let's take a look at keywords. That's another big question that I get. Can I still apply keywords in Lightroom? Well, let's take a look. Indeed, you can. We've added fall color and leaf as keywords to this particular image. So far, everything in the library module we've looked at functions the same as if you had an Adobe subscription. This is good news. Likewise, you can still rename your images, including batch rename. We'll just do one as an example. Let's call this one Spring Waterfall and save it. You can see indeed the file name has been altered. Moving on, you can also flag an image as a pic and change the star rating. Those all function the same. Let's take a look at the filters. We can choose to show only those images that are flagged as pics, star ratings of a certain level, in this example, 4 stars and higher, or things that have been flagged, starred, and added a color rating, in this case, green. So those all work normally. Likewise, you can still add color ratings to your images as well. So red or yellow, using the keyboard shortcuts or buttons as usual. You can also still filter using the metadata. In this example, we're going to look at all the images taken in a particular year, 2023. And there they are. All of the other filters work the same as well. If you want to still use collections to sort your images, you can also still make a new collection. Let's select a few images here, in this case, of waterfalls and springs, and create a new collection just for those kinds of images. We'll create the new collection, give it a name, choose Include Selected Images so it adds them to the collection, and create it. There's the collection. So that also functions normally. Next, let's take a look at something that actually surprised me. Because the develop module is disabled, I assumed that the quick develop option in the library module also would not function. However, it does. So you can use quick develop to do minor adjustments to your images. Along the same lines, I was also surprised to find that you can apply a preset here using quick develop as well. So if you have some favorite presets that you've used in Lightroom, maybe some you've created yourself or you've purchased, you can still apply them to your images. So that's a nice bonus that we discovered. So far, all the things we've looked at are what functions of Lightroom still exist on the images that are already in the catalog. But what if you want to import new images? Is that possible? Let's find out. We'll evoke the import dialog box and find the image that we just exported and add it into this catalog. There's the image. Then we just need to change it to add, not copy. So it adds it just to the catalog and import. Et voila, there's the image. So yes, you can still import new images into Lightroom Classic. In this section, let's talk about using Luminar or other plugins with Lightroom Classic. Is it still possible? To find out, let's evoke the plugin dialog box. So we right-click and find Export, and in this case, edit a copy with Lightroom adjustments. Now, let's just apply a tool that we can see an obvious change with. How about Twilight Enhancer? Let's go with something like this. Now we'll just apply it and it will bring the image back to Lightroom, in theory. But let's see if it actually works. We've already tested import into Lightroom Classic and it still works. So again, this should work as expected. And sure enough, there's the new image. Now let's do the same thing, but open a raw file directly from Lightroom into Luminar so that we have access to develop raw. So it's the same process, right-click, choose export, but this time open source file. This one's got some cutoff on the corners from a lens hood that was too small. We'll crop it, but first let's apply a preset. Once that's done, we'll just crop it, something about like this, and then we'll do a sky replacement. Once again, just so that the edit is really obvious when we bring it back into Lightroom. That one looks good. Let's apply it. And once again, head back to Lightroom. So once again, we were successful using Luminar as a plugin for Lightroom Classic. You could take the image to Luminar with the Lightroom adjustments, in which case it sends a TIFF over, or you can send the unedited raw file, which you'd then have access to develop raw in Luminar. There are pros and cons of both though. If you choose to take your raw file over, once you've applied the edits that you did in Luminar and bring it back to Lightroom, as you can see here, you now have a TIFF. If you open this image back in Luminar, you can't change any of the edits. So it's not alterable. It's cooked into this new TIFF. So if you want to be able to have access to the history in Luminar, you want to open your images in the standalone version, not from Lightroom like this. But if you want to have the option of keeping Lightroom as your catalog and your base, you can absolutely do that. Just know that there are some limitations of using Luminar as a plugin for Lightroom. As you saw a moment ago, you can still use Luminar as a plugin for Lightroom, even after canceling Adobe. You can also use Luminar as a standalone, in conjunction or alongside your existing Lightroom catalog. So you have several options there. Luminar is a great program and I highly recommend it. In fact, I like it so much, I'm an ambassador. If you are brand new to Luminar, there are 3 packages to choose from to get started. Desktop only gives you access to the app just for a computer, so laptop or desktop. The All Platforms or Classic package also includes Luminar Mobile and Luminar Web, so you can edit on the go. Finally, the Max option gives you all of that, plus educational tools and assets. Each month, you'll have things available to download like skies, textures, overlays, and presets. These are all what's called a lifetime license. That does not mean that you get free upgrades and updates forever. It means that you get 1 year worth of updates and upgrades and 1 year with the generative AI tools. Those are the ones that create things like Gen Erase or Gen Swap. All the other tools function normally, so you own this version of Luminar forever, even if you never buy another upgrade pass. If you decide that Luminar is the way to go for you, make sure that you use my discount code DPM10 when you check out, and you'll get an extra 10% off the price. Please note that the prices shown on the screen are in US dollars and may not be what you find currently. This is a screenshot that I took at the time of making the video. The last thing you might need is some additional education. If you've enjoyed this video and you like my teaching style, I have a full course on Luminar Neo as well. You get the raw files included with the course so you can follow along each lesson. You'll learn every single tool in Luminar step by step. And when Luminar gets updated, so does the course. There's a link in the description area below for you to check it out. Use the discount code shown on the screen now to get 20% off when you buy the course. A special offer for you just for watching this video. So let's circle all the way back to this list of questions that we looked at originally. Have you got all the answers you need to make a decision? If you have any additional questions, please put them in the comment area below and I will try to answer them for you. The bottom line is only you can decide if Adobe is right for you or if you're ready to cancel. If you feel that you need to have a larger catalog with thousands or tens of thousands of images, then you might want to stick with Adobe and Lightroom Classic. If you don't use things like keywords or you don't have that many images, you might be better off just switching completely to Luminar and using that as your catalog and base. Or if you need keywords and you have a large catalog, but you don't want to pay Adobe's subscription price, you might find the best of both worlds by canceling Adobe, using Lightroom Classic as your base still, and Luminar as a plugin. The drawback of that, of course, is when you send the image to Luminar as a plugin, it comes back with the edits cooked in, so you can't alter it. But you still have all the benefits of the library module and all the other things available to you in Lightroom Classic. So it's a bit of a trade-off, and you can always still open Luminar as a standalone, even if all your images are in Lightroom Classic. So you've got options. So the advantage of keeping your subscription to Adobe is that you can continue to use Lightroom Classic to edit your images. If you cancel, you can still use it in conjunction with Luminar as a plugin or as your base to add things like keywords and do renaming. Whatever you decide, make sure it's the right choice for you. I'm pretty ingrained in Lightroom because I have over 270,000 images in my catalog, so I'm not going to be leaving Adobe anytime soon. I also use Photoshop a lot, but that might not be the case for you. So you have to decide what's best for your unique situation. Phew, that was a lot to cover in a short period of time. If you'd like to watch another video to learn more about Luminar Neo, check out one on the screen now. Make sure you're also subscribed to my channel. Until next time, take care. I'll see you soon.